We communicate to conversate so that we can collaborate to create.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good morning, Cami Baker. Previously, episode 272 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast, which was just about 2 years, 8 months, 15 days, 11 hours, and 15 minutes ago.
Do not sit around waiting to have something, to do something, to be happy, be rich, be thin, be healthy, be a better parent. Be that now, so that you will do what that person would do, so that you'll have what that person would have.
That was then. This is now. Cami, it's a great pleasure to connect with you. Are you in the same place, the same state that we first spoke in?
I am in New Hampshire, New England, just above Boston, actually.
Oh, that's wonderful. So what's going on? What's new in your world?
Well, thank you for asking. The book that I had when we first spoke is Mingle to Millions, and now I am writing the sequel to that, which is Mingle to Millions Method. Be on purpose, drive your business, market with style, purpose-driven marketing.
Now, you've not just started this world, right? Like when we spoke, you spoke about being the net player. I'm guessing this is an evolved version of what it is in terms of being necessary, the networker. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. And when I wrote Mingle to Millions, actually the word net play as opposed to network was in my world. However, I found out that word had already been trademarked, so I changed it to net webbing. And the analogy is we go out networking and we meet all these people who are spraying their cards on us, and they are the skunks. And then there's the people who are gathering cards from everyone and they're squirreling them away. They're the squirrels. And then there are the people who are shark in the room looking for somebody to buy their product or join their business or sign their contract. And my suggestion is we looked at being a spider, because a spider is very strategic and savvy. And when she creates her net web and creates all those connections, all that she wants comes to her. And so with the net webbing and Mingle to Millions, that is a great book for people to really learn how to, level up how they are networking, how they're net webbing, how they're being seen. And with Mingle to Millions method, this is the next level up. So Mingle to Millions was kind of high school level, and now Mingle to Millions method is getting into the higher levels of college, meaning now we're going to really strategize and leverage our time by having a way to do purpose-driven marketing so that we meet our perfect client where they're at.
Where can we go to find out more or even get these books?
Well, CamiBaker.com is always a place to go. I like to say that I'm real, I'm raw, I'm relatable, and I'm reachable. So my cell phone number and my email are all over the internet. Very easy to find me.
Now, another thing I'll add is you have some of the most amazing one-liners I've experienced in my podcasting interviews. Listening back and preparing for this conversation, I think I ran out of paper space, right? Just getting these. And it's applicable, in terms of how you say these. We didn't get the first part, which is the 3 Fs, which are the 3 Fs. Fabulous, fierce, and on fire, which is yours, right? That is definitely yours. Another one that you shared with us is, if you're not feeling, you are not learning. And you open that up for us, please.
Well, there's a lot of alliterations that I use. I find that it makes it easier for me to remember and certainly easier for my clients to remember. So different things that I say are, we communicate to conversate so that we can collaborate to create the influence and the impact and the income that we are wanting to make. We are all looking for resources and relationships that lead to the revenue that rock. And one of the ways we do that is before we go to an event, if we research, reach out, and relationship build with the leaders and the movers and shakers and the speakers and the other attendees before we even go, then we can have what you were just talking about. If you're not feeling, you're not learning. When you can feel the other person, when you can relationship build before you even get in front of them, instead of sticking your hand out saying, "Hi, my name's Cami, what do you do?" I
Hmm.
can actually say, "Hey, Cami Baker here. It's so nice to finally meet you," and give them a hug. And that is a great way to start a relationship.
When you were doing this, learning these skill sets, did you feel as though it was something that was just natural, like something that, yeah, well, I mean, how else would you network? Or is it something that you had to experience the hard way?
Absolutely had to experience it the hard way. I am just like 99% of people. Networking is difficult, or relationship building. I say all the time, social media has made us some of the most antisocial creatures on the planet. People have
Hmm.
such a hard time initiating conversation, following through with conversation, setting up appointments, and getting together with people, which is why with the Mingle to Millions method and the purpose driven marketing, when we are talking about something we are on purpose about, the veterans, cancer patients, human trafficking victims, children, animals, when we can talk about something that we're passionate about and stop being salesy and icky and trying to cram our business card in people's hands, the purpose driven marketing campaigns give us a way of showing up to the world so that we are attracting the people that we want to do business with, not by being salesy and icky, but by being on purpose and being seen and heard.
And statistically, the business is always going to come full circle to person interaction. It's part of the game. It's necessary. Yes, it has decreased how many times we meet because of the virtual space, but like real business people love to communicate with real people. Have you seen that as well?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you can have all the funnels and all of the Facebook pay per clicks and all of the advertising and flyers floating around in the world that you want, but ultimately, you have to be able to build a relationship, have a conversation, look people in the eye, give them a good handshake. When we have a purpose and we're driving our marketing by getting out and meeting people, actually meeting them face to face, hand to hand combat out there, touching people and creating relationships, that's where the business is done.
Now, I want to bring a reality to our amazing audience. This is not a conversation that has been manufactured from, hey, you've been doing this for the last 2 years or the last 3 years. You started up as an 8-year-old entrepreneur, right? You were a single mom commission based salesperson. You've been through the process. When you look back, Cami, from now to then, do you have any regrets?
The only regrets I have is that sometimes I have the same illness that most entrepreneurs have. We have a little bit of success, get a little money in the bank, and then we take off a lot of time. So the only regrets I have are the times that I wasn't getting in front of as many people as possible to share this message and help all the people that I can. I have a coach who asked me a couple of months ago. She said, "Cami, in order to really hone in on what your message is and really get your marketing up," she said, "what is it that pisses you off? Like, what is it that drives you on a daily basis?" And what that is for me is that when I go out to these networking events, or over the last 15, 20 years of meeting people, I see all these people that have a great service and a great product and a fabulous company, but they're not getting in front of the right people. They're going to networking events and they're going to free events where people are broke, and they're exchanging a bunch of business cards, but nobody's following up, nobody's setting appointments, nobody's getting hired. And they're doing just enough business to get by. Don't get me wrong, they're getting their bills paid, but they are not living into their purpose because they are not getting in front of the right people. And so with what I do, I help those people get in front of the right people, leverage their time, strategize, and shame on me when I am not getting in front of the right people to help them get in front of their right people, because Mingle to Millions isn't necessarily about mingling to millions of dollars. It's about mingling to millions of people who need your message, who need your podcast, who need your book, and they need your madness that will help them improve their life.
Love it. Cami, my friend, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for you being true to who you are, being true to your own unique, real self, because it is testament to the reality of what one can achieve when you stick through, when you stay consistent to your goals, to your passions. And that now is the foundation of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. Cami, in closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, the one thing that I always share when I'm interviewed is if there's one thing that you can do right now that's free and that's easy, but it's also easy not to do, is to change your playgrounds and playmates, meaning what are you listening to? Who are you talking to? Who are you getting your counsel from? Are you listening to music or are you listening to personal development? Are you hanging out with people who support you and challenge you and grow you and raise you? Think about garbage in, garbage out, goodness in, goodness out. So change your playgrounds and playmates, hang out with those who support you, and get a mentor, because experience is an expensive teacher. So when you can actually borrow somebody else's experience, it is a way better investment of your time and resources.
You said it well on our last conversation as well. You said be, do, and have. Cami Baker, again, a great pleasure. A pleasure I treasure. Thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.